Hi everyone, this is Kevin Parker. This is my individual project presentation for EDU 709, Creating Innovative Uses of Technology. Let's just jump right in. First of all, rationale for both of my lessons that I created, both of which are using icivics.org. I chose this primarily because they are already in use. I use them each year in my class already. They fall in line right with my curriculum. However, I don't ever really feel that I use them to their fullest potential, so I'm giving that a shot this year and taking a look at different parts of the program that I typically haven't used in the past. Students usually really enjoy it. They really like the competitive nature of getting a high score, and then of course again it covers a lot of my core curriculum that's required by the state. So, requirements really for both lessons. Really you just need a basic understanding of how to use the internet and then how to use it in the classroom setting. First of all, one-to-one computer situation would be best case scenario with a strong internet connection. Prior knowledge for the teacher, really we're using a lot of different websites and it's very advantageous if you as the teacher really know how they work and how to use them, because if you've ever tried to use 30 computers in a classroom, students always manage to find some way to get to a screen you've never seen before, and it's always helpful to actually know how the mechanics of the game or the mechanics of the writing creator actually work. For the students, just again a basic understanding of how to use the internet, how to use copy and paste, how to hyperlink. If they don't know how to do that, well, I've got a link for them to look at that later, but just basic internet navigation, research skills are needed for both of these lessons. Alright, lesson 1 is centered around the game from icivics.org called Win the White House. It's an interactive simulation where the student takes on the role of a candidate running for the White House, and they have to go through and make all of the decisions that a typical candidate would have to make. So they travel through the election process, they look at the key issues, including ones that are the hot topic issues. They have to determine what states they visit, how they run, do they run a negative or a positive TV ad, how do they spend their campaign money, where do they fundraise, and I'll show you guys an example of that in just a second. And then it makes them, of course, choose. They have to choose the states with the highest electoral votes, and that, of course, brings in the electoral college aspect of it. The game itself has 3 different difficulties, so it can be played from elementary all the way through high school. I particularly use it in high school, and that's going to be the example that I'm actually going to show you guys. So here we go. Let's take a look. I'm already part of the way through. I've created my character. I took the first one that they gave me, and this is him. I named him Mr. President, of course. I've selected issues down here. Government transparency and right to organize are the 2 hot button issues currently. Gun control, immigration, which if you can see here, I'm a Democrat, and securing our borders, so I'm what they call a maverick. Also supporting gay rights. So these are what I've selected. And when I launch my campaign, I'm going to skip the tutorial, but the tutorial is there and it actually walks the students through the primaries. So I'm going to say no. Yay, alright, so now again we're at the National Convention. Here I am going to select my VP candidate, Charles Carter from Alabama. Sure, why not? He looks good. Alright, yay. Alright, they're super happy about that. And then, of course, it walks through the Republican side of things. This is my opponent. This is the computer, and they've selected their 5 issues as well. And we're going to go back and forth and determine who's going to win. So, essentially, these are my 5 issues. These are my running mates. This is my slogan because I'm kind of a big deal. And here's my rival from the Republican Party here. These are their issues. So I continue, and then I'm pretty much just going to walk you through one turn. It's basically 10 turns, and once you get past those 10 turns, then you either win or you lose, and it gives you a final score. So I'm going to walk you through one turn, and this is essentially what the game, for all intents and purposes, looks like. And this is where I typically have students that struggle the most. They look at this and they go, oh my gosh, there's all these different buttons, what do I do? There's all these down here. What do I do? What do I do? So this is where I would recommend, from a teacher standpoint, you really should probably pop this up in front of the class on a projector or something like that and really walk them through what a turn actually looks like. And that's what I'm going to do for you guys here. First of all, some of the buttons here looks at the different electoral votes. And of course, this is taking a look at the larger ones, of course, Florida, Texas, California, New York, Pennsylvania, and then good old Michigan here. So, also then, as these are, whether you're winning or losing a state, so I am, in this case, I am a Democrat, so I'm going to, take a look at Georgia here. I have 61% of the popular support. Pretty much means at the end of the game, if you have over 50%, you're going to get those electoral votes. Other things to take a look at are momentum and state cash. Here, this is momentum, and since this is the first turn, I have no momentum. And then this is fundraising ability. And again, I am a Democrat. So I can only fundraise from the states I am currently winning. So let's go back to Georgia, and I'm going to get 2 dollar bill signs. All right, yay. These people paid a bunch of money to come out and support me, hear me talk about something. My opponent's going to do the same thing. They like what he said, so they gave him money. Now, notice each one of these has a dollar sign, meaning that's going to take $1 away. I have $2. Well, I can only do 2 of these 3 things. If I had $3, I could do 1 of each. So in this case, the donkeys right here represent my momentum. So I could, let's say, I like Ohio here. Of course, there's good electoral votes there. So I'm going to focus on Ohio. I'm going to determine, I'm going to make an appearance in Ohio. And then, this is where it counts here. These are the issues that the state likes. These are the issues that the state doesn't like. So, do I want to be positive or do I want to be negative? I could run a positive ad here, or I could do right to organize. They like that. So if I make an appearance and talk about that issue, that's a positive campaign issue. They don't like securing our borders. So if I showed up and talked about securing borders, they're not going to like that. So that would be a bad idea. However, they also, let's see here, they also don't like fiscal responsibility. So if I wanted to be negative, I could show up and talk about fiscal responsibility and my opponent's position on that, and they would not like that. So if I click over here, that's one of their negative ones. If I click over here, that's a positive one. We'll try and be positive. We'll go right to organize here. All right. Citizens have the right to know it. They basically have to match which one of these goes with the issue right to organize. So, common sense gun regulations, that's not going to be it. Unions, people who brought you the weekends support the right to organize. That sounds about right. So we'll give the speech based on that issue. There I go. Yeah, they like that. All right, now I have new momentum. Good. So basically, now they're going to do the same thing. Opponent. Oh, they're going to Georgia too. Okay, so now, if we take a look at momentum, I have 2 momentum in Ohio, he has 2 in Georgia. Basically, every turn that momentum stays the same, they'll gain support, and eventually you'll see that shift over and turn red, or turn blue in this case. Then let's find out what's going on, let's say California. So I'm going to poll California, and they're going to tell me what my support is there. Yay, they like me there. Now notice California has 3 cash. So next time when I fundraise, I can get $3 and go from there. He's going to run a campaign. Oh, look at that. He supports the nice deer. Yay. Alright, now he has momentum in Alabama. And that's basically it. We're going to end our turn. We're going to go down to week 9. And then we're really going to go from there. So that's basically win the White House. Now, the portion that I'm going to do for this particular one, this is not really the assignment. This is the structure of the assignment. They're going to play through this game. They're going to go through the steps of the election process. They're going to take a look at the the key events of an election cycle, and then they're going to take what they do here in the game, and they're going to be required to do that and find those events in a real world scenario. So they're going to take a look at the 2016 presidential election and try and find examples like that. When you finish the game, you'll end up with something like this. This is a previous one I did for a candidate named Joe Schmo. It did not take me 5 hours and 30 minutes. It sat here on my computer for a while. But you can see here I had 355 electoral votes. I chose these issues. It gives me some stats and some data. And the students can even print their certificate so they can have this as proof that they really did well. The overall assignment looks something like this. Tried to make it as nice looking as I could. So they play through here, then they have to find a real life example, right? They have to come here, they have to take the primary debate, they would have to hyperlink that, and then here's a hyperlink instruction. They can actually click on that and it takes them to a video that explains how to hyperlink here, creating hyperlinks in Google Docs. So they can do that, and then they have to highlight, hyperlink this to their website. They get their information, whether it's a video or a news article, whatever the case may be. Then they have to write a brief description of the event here. And you can see here primary debate results, vice president selection, party convention, and you can see the rest of them down here. So that's their ultimate assignment, and that is based on the structure of the game in the White House. One more thing I'd like to at least add for this particular one, and this will feed into the advantages and disadvantages. iCivics.org has a lot of curriculum support for all of these, and you can see here this is just the teacher page. I go teach and then click Win the White House, and you can see here. But here's a game guide. Here's additional information that you can come and access and really research. So they do a really good job of supporting their stuff. And this one actually is updated for the 2016 election here. So there's an extension packet, and you can go through that process there. Now, advantages and disadvantages. First of all, I mean, it is an engaging activity. It's competitive. It does allow them to choose issues that they are in fact interested in. They don't have to just be stuck with the ones I assign them. It allows me to see their progress in the game if they are logged in under the class shell that you can create, which is actually kind of one of the disadvantages. The setup is quite time consuming. But I can have some oversight. It aligns really nicely with the social studies curriculum for all levels. It has multiple difficulty levels. It's updated, like that Win the White House is updated for the 2016 election. And then it allows them to explore their own choices. Some of the disadvantages, I would say, it is somewhat complex. I mean, it's a lot of buttons, a lot of moving pieces, and having some background knowledge would probably be needed, and how you want to go about teaching the background knowledge is kind of up to you. It is reliant on technology, meaning if the internet goes down, you are kind of out of luck. And then the basic just computer skills, and as far as transferability, this style of assignment you could modify and use for anything, but as far as Win the White House is concerned, it's pretty social studies centered. So overall, I think it's a great site. I hope you guys have a chance to explore it. This will end lesson 1. I'll come back to you guys in just a second, and we'll take a look at lesson 2.